Hi, Skullface Gamer here. Today I'm going to take a look at one of my favorite franchises on the PlayStation, Twisted Metal. I'll be counting down the games from number 8 all the way up to number 1. So let's go ahead and take a look. This is Twisted Metal 3. It's the only Twisted Metal game in the series I don't like, and that's why it comes in at number 8. It was one of the two Twisted Metal games made by 989, or as I call them, 9 Suck 9. The first thing I don't like about this game, other than the fact that the graphics are really bad, are the characters. This has got to be the stupidest character in all the Twisted Metal games there ever has been. His name is Club Kid. What the hell is that supposed to mean?
I'm crushing Calypso's twisted party with my mighty disco ball and my smiling styling micro car. No one at this shindig stands a chance once I cruise my way into that fly flip. There'd better be some eggnog at my winner's bash. See you in the mosh pit.
Okay, first of all, why does he have a pacifier? And why does he need eggnog? It's just so stupid. And it's a terrible English accent. Okay, Flower Power is probably the only interesting new character in this game. But look what they did to Mr. Grimm. I mean, why is his bike red? Why is he wearing a toque? Why is he yellow? The control in this game is terrible. The cars tip over from hitting a stone or bumping into anything. Why is he yellow? It looks so stupid. Oh, missed. Yeah, anyway, this game is just terrible. Out of all the Twisted Metals, this one comes in at number 8. It's the worst game in the series, and I absolutely hate it. Don't even get me started on the cutscenes, like when you beat the game. They're horrendous. Anyway, let's move on to the next game. I don't even want to talk about this piece of shit. See what I mean? Like, it's like he's a turtle that gets knocked over on his back, and the game's a lot harder to control, too. They went with a more realistic control scheme. Why would you do that with a game like Twisted Metal? It's not realistic to begin with. So now they want to give it a realistic control scheme? How stupid. Let's go on to the next game. Okay, coming in at number 7 on my personal list is Twisted Metal 4, also by 989. Now, this game is a lot better than Twisted Metal 3. I just hope you like Rob Zombie, because the game is filled with his music, and you can pick him as a character. This game has a bit of an interesting twist in that Sweet Tooth has taken over the tournament. The characters in this game are slightly better than the last game, but there's a lot of new characters. You won't see too many from the original Twisted Metal. The gameplay is better. Pretty much everything is better about this game than the third game, but it still isn't that great of a Twisted Metal game. Most of the stages you play in just aren't very exciting. I mean, not every stage can be, very different or unique, but oops, I'm terrible at this. This is the first stage, of course, so it's not going to be too exciting. More of a simple stage. Can't get this roach guy. And Calypso's a playable character in this game, so he wants to win his tournament back. Alright, I'm not going to play with this guy anymore. So again, another game made by 989. Twisted Metal 4 comes in at number 7. Plays a lot better than the last one, but there's not very many familiar characters. You can teleport though, that's kind of cool. Grab some turbos. And the cutscenes look a lot better than they did in the third game, but that's not saying much when you consider how terrible they are. Okay, let's move on to the next game. Now coming in at number 6 is Twisted Metal Small Brawl. Now, this game gave control back to the original creators of the series, which was good. And a lot of people kind of didn't like Twisted Metal Small Brawl too much. But I liked it a lot. Now, from what I remember, the game at first was supposed to be like a combat kart racer. But instead they scrapped that idea, if I understand correctly, and made it a regular Twisted Metal game. Although this time around, your cars are remote control cars controlled by kids. So, the kids, of course, don't actually get killed. Well, I shouldn't say that because some kids don't have very good endings. Calypso is in control of this tournament. Take that. So some kids get, some endings that aren't that great. The graphics aren't that great. The gameplay is just like any other Twisted Metal you've played of the good Twisted Metals, the first two. I'm getting my butt kicked. Despite the fact that you're playing as remote control cars, they still blow up though. It doesn't really make any sense. If you're just a remote control car, why would you blow up? They don't have gasoline in them, but it's a game, so. And it's nice to see all the familiar characters back in this one. Mr. Slam's over there, can't even hit him. I better find a health power up, so I'm almost dead. But I still enjoyed this game despite the fact it's not all that great. It's still better than the 989 games. Again, it kind of gets overlooked, but I don't think it's been given a very fair shot. And I think Twisted Metal Small Brawl is a pretty decent little game with a cute gimmick. And coming in at number 5 is Twisted Metal on the PlayStation 3. Now, this is the only Twisted Metal game that I haven't played all the way through. I never beat this game, but I have a lot of complaints about this game. My first complaint is there's only 3 playable characters. That's it. I don't know why they didn't bother to include all the other favorite characters that people have come to know and love. They only have 3. But the cars are here. Like you've got Outlaw, for example, but you don't have the character, you have his car. This is Roadkill, but you don't have Roadkill. And Kamikaze, I think, is a newer character. This is Axel. It looks ridiculous, Sweet Tooth being in Axel's vehicle. I don't understand why they left out the other characters. And of course, the overrated Sweet Tooth. The tow truck guy, I forget what his name was. But the thing is, you can also play as other cars. So for instance, you can be Sweet Tooth, you can play as Sweet Tooth in his ice cream truck. Then you can also have him use the police car. You can also have him use the tow truck. It's kind of interesting, but it's almost practically sacrilege. And another thing I don't like about this game is how they went over the top with the multiplayer. And I understand the multiplayer is a big deal and everybody loves multiplayer, but Twisted Metal has always been about the single player experience. There's no reason why they had to scale back on it and not include those other characters. I wanted to beat the game with every character, see their ending, but you don't get that here with Twisted Metal on the PlayStation 3.
Sweet. My name is
Now, it doesn't look bad, that's for sure, and it's extremely difficult. Kind of reminds me a lot of Twisted Metal Black. Yep, the only Twisted Metal game I haven't actually beat. And I kind of forget how to play this one too. So I'm really getting my ass kicked. Damn, getting my ass kicked. I need to put a little bit more time into this one, but all those gripes keeps this game, Twisted Metal, in the PlayStation 3 at number 5 on my list. And at number 4 is the original Twisted Metal. I remember back in the day when this game came out, I would go to Blockbuster. They had Blockbusters back in those days. So I wanted to rent the game so badly because I thought it was so cool. And it is a great game. Look at all these cool and interesting characters. Look how cool Mr. Grimm looks compared to Twisted Metal 3, where he looked like a doofus. This guy's a ghost. That was kind of cool. Never liked these assholes. John Belushi there, or Jim Belushi, whatever his name is. And of course, Sweet Tooth. See, the problem with his van is it's hard to see, like when you're driving him around, because that clown face is in the way. I've always been partial to either the cop or Mr. Grimm. Now, the first stage in this game, you're like in an arena, and it's not a whole lot of fun to play because you're constantly, turning. And you can tell this game is pretty old. It's pretty dated. Oh, he hit me. It's kind of hard to control Mr. Grimm because he's so fast, and this is like a bad, area for him to be in because you're constantly turning. Got him there. At least you're only fighting one opponent. Like I said, the graphics are pretty dated, and the sound effects sound kind of muffled, and I like the cardboard cutout people there. But nonetheless, this was a great game. It's a classic PlayStation game. And I loved it. This game had endings, but they were just texts. Well, where'd you go? How can I not find... There he is. And somehow I missed that. Well, I'm out of practice with this game anyway. But number 4, oh, I missed the best weapon. Number 4 is the original Twisted Metal. And coming in at number 3 is Twisted Metal 2. Now, I know this is probably going to tick off some of my legions of fans to put Twisted Metal 2 at number 3. But I just don't think it's the best game in the series, although most people do. It's a great game, and any of these top 3 games could be number 1, but I just feel that it's a number 3 game. The graphics, of course, are greatly improved upon from the first. The story is really good in this game, and I love the cut and paste style of animation for the cutscenes. At least I think that's what it's called. But like the last game, this one is also pretty hard. I mean, the first stage, you're already fighting 6 other opponents. Although there are fewer cars in this game than the last game. Gotcha. That's a good shot. Oh! I used to play this game with my best friend like 3 or 4 in the morning. We loved this game. We had so much fun with it. And like I said, I haven't played these games for a long time, so I've kind of lost my touch. I used to be pretty good at them. Super Game's always been kind of hard to... Wow, I'm already dead. See what I mean, how hard this game is? Let's move on to the next game on my list. And at number 2 on my list is Twisted Metal Black. When this game came out and I played it for the first time, I was floored. I couldn't believe how good it was. Now, this game, of course, doesn't have the usual campy, comical type of Twisted Metal. Instead, here we get, well, a more darker, or if you will, black version of Twisted Metal. And I loved it. This was another game that I loved. My best friend and I, we'd play till, again, 3 or 4 in the morning. And by this time, I was, better than him, and he couldn't beat me anymore because he sucks. But Twisted Metal Black is simply awesome. I love the cutscenes. The only problem, only real complaint I really have about this game is that since we're going with this dark, gritty look, all the stages look dark and gritty, which makes them seem kind of overly familiar. Not that that's, necessarily that bad of a thing. It's just hard way I'm getting my ass kicked. Yeah, this game is great. Sweet Tooth won't leave me alone, so I was making fun of him earlier. Take that, Sweet Tooth, in your overpowered ice cream truck. I love being like the bigger vehicles because you can ram into people. It's kind of cool. But yes, Twisted Metal Black, a great game. And that's why it's number 2 on my list. Now, first of all, if I hit somebody in a motorcycle with this police truck, he'd be dead. But of course, it's Twisted Metal and it's not supposed to be realistic. Let's move on to number 1. And the number 1 Twisted Metal game, in my opinion, is Twisted Metal Head-On. And I know this game was, the original version was on the PlayStation Portable. This is the PlayStation 2 version, which also includes the lost levels, which is a nice touch. So it plays more like Twisted Metal Black. But Twisted Metal Head-On is what Twisted Metal 3 should have been, instead of the shitty 989 version. You've got the familiar characters from the second game. And of course there's a bunch of characters to unlock too. And with Twisted Metal, the lost levels, you got even more Twisted Metal. Oh, and of course they include this in the game. And you also get some other characters that weren't in Twisted Metal Black, like the Cabbie and Manslaughter, Warthog. Those characters you had to actually unlock, excuse me, in Twisted Metal Black. But there's just a lot of Twisted Metal here, and that's why I like this game so much. And there you have it. That's my little countdown of my favorite Twisted Metal games, ranked from number 8 all the way to number 1. Twisted Metal Head-On on a PlayStation 2 is my favorite Twisted Metal game. And there you have it. That's my personal opinion on the Twisted Metal games. I know some of you may not agree with what I put in first place, but that's okay. I don't really care what you think. That's my opinion. That's just too bad. So anyway, until next time, this is Skullface Gamer signing off. Thank you for watching.